Hi, good day to each and everyone. I am Shirley Z. Barcoma. My topic is all about supply chain process. So the introduction, supply chain management can be defined as the management of flow of products and services, which begins from the origin of the products and ends at the product's consumptions. It also comprises movements and storage of the raw materials that are evolved in work in progress, inventory and fully furnished goods. So the main objective of the supply chain management is to monitor and relate productions, distributions, and shipments of the products and services. This can be done by the companies with a very good and tight hold and over internal inventories, productions, distribution, and internal productions in sales. And next is it uses different strategies and approaches to view the entire change and work efficiently at each and every step involved in the chain. In the above figure, we can see the flow of the good services and informations from the producers to the consumer. So the pictures depicts the movements of the product from the producers to the manufacturer, who forwards it to the distributor for the shipment. And then the distributor in return ships it to the wholesaler or retailer, who further distribute the products to the various shops from where the customers can easily get the product. So we have the SEM process flow. So the supply management is the process used by the companies to ensure that their supply chain is efficient and cost efficient. So we have the 5 basic components of the supply chain management. So are the discussion below. So we have the plan, the develop, make, delivery, and the last one is return. So when we say plan, this is the initial stage of the supply chain process. So it's a planning stage. So we need to develop a plan or strategy in order to address how the product and services will satisfy the demands and necessities of the customers. The next one is after the planning, the next step evolves developing or resourcing. So in this stage, we mainly concentrate on building a strong relationship with the supplier of the raw materials required for productions. And then the third one, the third step in the supply chain management process is the manufacturing or making the product we were demand by the customer. So in this stage, the products are designed, produced, tested, packed, and synchronized for the delivery. And the fourth stage in this delivery stage, here are the products are delivered to the customer at the destined location by the supplier. So in this stage is basically the logistic base phase where customers' orders are accepted, the delivery of the goods is planned. And the next one is the last and the final stage of the supply chain management is referred as the return. So in the stage with defective or damaged goods are returned to the supplier by the customer. So again, these are the process flow of the supply chain management. The next one is the process flow types. So there are the 3 types of the flow in the supply chain management. So we have the material flow, the informations or data flow, and the last one is the money flow. So when we say material flow, includes a smooth flow on items from the producer to the consumer. So this is possible through various warehouse among the distributors, dealers, and retailers. And when we say data or data flow or information, so it comprises the request for the quotations, purchase order, monthly schedules, engineering change requests, quality complaints, and reports on the supplier. So the performance from the customer side to the supplier. And the last one is the money flow. So on the basis of the invoice raised by the producer, so the clients examine the order for the correctness. So if the claims are correct, so the money flows from the clients to the respective producers. Flow of the money is also observed from the producer side, the clients in the form of the debit notes. So the flow component, so after understanding the basic flows evolved in the supply management, so we need to consider the different elements present in this flow. So we have the transportations, so or shipment. So it's necessary for the uninterrupted and seamless supply. The factors that have impact on the shipment are economic uncertainty and stability. So the varying fuel prices, customer expectations, globalizations, improved technologies, changing transportation industry, and the labor costs. So we have the warehousing. So plays a vital role in the supply chain process into the industry. So the demands and expectation of the customers are undergoing to tremendous change. So we want everything at our doorstep, that too with efficient price. The next one is sourcing and procurement. So resourcing and procurement are a vital part of the supply management. So the company decide if it wants to perform all the exercises internally or if it desires to get it done by any other independent firm. So this is commonly referred as the make versus buy decisions. So which will be discussing in a brief another chapter. So the next one is the return management. It can be defined as a management that invites the merger of the challenges and opportunities for the inbound logistics. A cost-effective reverse logistic programs links the available supplies of the returns with the product informations and demand for the repairable items or recaptured material. So we have the three pillars that support a return management process. So these are as follows. So we have the speed, visibility, and the last one is control. So when we say speed, it must have to quick and easy return management and automated decision regarding whether to produce return material authorizations o yung tinatawag nating RMA. And if so, how to process them. Basically, the tools of the speed return processing include automated workflows, labels and attachment, and user files. The next one is the visibility. So for improving the visibility and predictability, information needs to be captured initially in the process, ideally prior to delivering the return to the receiving dock. So most effective and easily implementable approaches for obtaining visibility are web-based portals. So carrier integrations and barcoded and identifiers. The last one is the control. So in case of return management, synchronizing material movements is common issue that needs to be handled. So the producer need to be very cautious and pay close attention to the recipients and reconciliations and update the stakeholders of impending quality issues. So in this case, reconciliations activates visibility and control all over the enterprise. So they control points in this process are regulatory compliance, reconciliations, the final disposition, and the last one is the quality assurance. So let's talk about the flow components. So we have the post-sale service. So now that the order shipment is over, so what is the next step? So the post-sale service in supply chain tends to be an increasingly essential factors as businesses offer solution instead of products. So we have the decision phase. So it can be defined as a different the stage involved in supply chain management for taken and actions or decision related to the some products of service or services. So here we'll be discussing the three main decision phase involved in the entire process of the supply chain. So there are the three phases are described below. So we have the supply chain strategy, supply chain planning, and the last one is supply chain operations. So when we say supply chain strategy, so in this phase, decision is taken by the management mostly. The decision to be made consider the sections like long-term predictions and evolves price of the goods that very expensive if it goes wrong. And it's very important to study the market condition at this stage. The next one is the supply chain planning. So the supply chain plan should be done according to the demand and supply view. In order to understand customer demands, a market research should be done. So and the second thing to be considered is awareness and updated informations about the competitors and strategies used by them to satisfy their customer demands and requirements. The last one is the supply chain operations. So this is the third and the last decision phase, consists of the various functions, functional decisions that are able to made instantly within minutes, hours, or days. So the objective behind this decision phase is minimizing uncertainty and performance optimization. So starting from handling the customer order to supplying customer with the product. So everything is included in this phase. Excuse me. The next one is the two categories of performance measurement. So we have the qualitative measurement. So most the measurement taken for measuring the performance may be somewhat similar to each other. But the objectives behind a segment is very different from the other. So for example, the customer satisfactions and the product quality. The next one is the quantitative measures. So the performance of the supply chain can be improvised by using a multi-dimensional strategy which addresses how the company needs to provide services to diverse customer demands. So for example, neto yung mga order to delivery lead time natin, supply chain response time, flexibility, resource utilizations, and the last one is delivery performance. So here we'll be disconsidering the quantitative performance measures only. So the next one is the strategic resourcing, can be defined as the collective and organized approach to supply chain management that defines the way information is gathered and used so that organization can be leveraged is consolidated purchasing power to find the best possible values in the market. So we cannot build up the significance of the operating in the collaborative manner. So several decades have witnessed a major transformations in the professions of supply chain. So from the purchasing agent comprehension, where staying in repository was the criterion. So emerging into the supply chain management surrounding, we're working with the across functional and cross-location teams is important to achieve success. So let's talk about the make versus buy. So productions are identified mostly with their decision to make or buy. So in other words, do they wish to produce the desired product on their own, or do they want to purchase it from the foreign market? So this decision is critical because the third party supplier, especially in the countries like Eastern Europe, China, and other low-cost parts of the world hold out the promise of essential beneficiaries, which the developed nation failed to offer. So the next one is the networks. So the network design is supply chain determines its physical arrangement design, structural layout, and infrastructure of the supply chain. So here are the major decisions to be made are on the number, locations, and the size of manufacturing plants and the warehouse and thus assignment of the retail outlets of the warehouses. And this stage witnessed some other major resourcing decision as well as across the company are managed efficiently. So the next one is inventory management. So as seen under the major objectives of the supply chain, one of the basic objectives of SCM is to make sure that all the activities and functions within as well as across the company are managed efficiently. So these are the instances where efficiency in supply chain can be ensured by efficiencies in the inventory. To be more precise, by maintaining efficiency in inventory reductions. So we have the role of inventory. So before understanding the role of inventory in supply chain, we need to understand the cordial relationship between the manufacturer and the client. So handling clients, coping up with their demands, and creating relationship with the manufacturer is the critical sections of managing supply chain. The next one is the role of the IT. So we will talk about the information access of the supply chain. So retailers have essential designations. They merge the positions of prominence with the help of technologies. So three distinct benefits. So we have the cost reductions. So the advancement of the technology has further led to ready availability of all the products with different offers and discounts. So the productivity, the growth of information technology has improved productivity because the inventions of the new tools and software. The next one is the improvement and product or market strategy. So recent years has been huge growth, not only the technologies, but the market itself. So new strategies are made to allure our customers and new ideas are being experimented for the improving the product. So we have the electronic commerce. Electronic commerce involves the broad range of the tools and techniques used to conduct business in paperless environment. So it comprises electronic data interchange, email, electronic fund transfer, electronic publishing, image processing, electronic bulletin boards, shared databases, magnetic or optical data captured. So when we talk about information access for the supply chain, retailers have been essential designations. They're merged to the position of prominence with the help of technology. So we have the electronic data interchange or yung tinatawag nating EDI. So it involves the swapping of the business documents in the standard format from computer to computer. So we have the major advantages of EDI. So the are as follows. So instant processing of informations, improvised customer service, limited paperwork, high productivity, advanced tracing and expediting, cost efficiency, competitive benefit, advanced billing, and advanced billing. So the application of EDI supply chain partner can overcome the deformity and flash food in supply and demand information by remolding technologies to support real-time sharing of actual demand and supply information. So we have the barcoding scanning. So we can see the applications of barcode scanners in the checkout counters of the supermarket. So this code state the name of the product along with its manufacturer. So some other practical applications of the barcode scanner are tracking and moving items like elements in the PC assembly operations and automobiles in assembly plants. So we have the data warehouses can be defined as a store comprising all the database. So it is a centralized database that is prolonged independently from the production system database of a company. And we have the ERP. So the system has now become the base of many IT infrastructure. Some of the ERP tools are Abaan, SAP, People, SOP. And syempre, ERP system has now become the processing tool of many companies. So they are grab the data and minimize the manual activities and tasks related to processing financial inventory and customer informations. So the next one is the discuss supply management. So the supply management can be defined as the management of flows of the product and services, which begin from the origin of the products and end with the products consumption at the end user. So this is the brief introductory tutorial that explains the methodologies applied in rapidly growing area of the supply chain management in an organization. So this is my reference. So that is all for now. So thank you for listening.